Thank you guys for watching. I'm Hans and this is my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the batteries that we're going to put in this bike. How we're going to get this thing 48 volts, and we're going to do that right now. Let's go! So we need to create a battery pack for this, and what I've come up with, my solution here, is going to be a case like this. I'd like it to be waterproof. Now I did cut a hole in here so that I could get my wires to go through, but if it's raining and it's just coming down on top of this thing, this is going to be really waterproof for what I need it for. If I'm going 30 miles an hour down the road and it's raining, it's going to probably be hard to get a lot of rain in that little hole, so I'm not too worried about it. What I'm going to do is screw this part to this part, and then we're going to put some foam inside of this that will hold the batteries. Now my batteries are going to be these. These are Lipo batteries. I used to use these for my quadcopters all the time when I was selling those, and they still work. I mean, it's been 4 years, maybe even 5 years since I bought these. I threw a couple on the charger last night and they charged up perfectly. They worked awesome, so I'm really stoked about that. These are going to fit nicely in this case, and I'm going to surround each battery with foam so it's got a nice place to sit and it won't bounce around in there when you're riding around. We're going to use two because they're 24 volts each, 22.2 volts each. We need both of these, like I said in the last video, to get 48 volts to the hub. So what we did to get those to work is we made this crazy little harness here where we have our negative and our positive, and those are going out of this. And so this is going to go to our speed controller. And then we have the batteries are going to plug in positive and negative, but we have this little loop. So we're going from the negative into the positive side on this, and then we're coming out positive, negative on each side of that battery. But that's going to get us our 48 volts. We need to be safe about this, and we can't just strap them onto this. We need to make some kind of a permanent solution that's going to work really well so that we can use this thing safely and the batteries aren't going to get damaged when you're using it, because that could cause a lot of problems. So the idea here is I'm going to drill some holes in this part and in this part. I want to make a match. So what I'll probably do is drill them in this aluminum part first, mark them where I want them, set this here where I want it, and then drill through into this box, and then we can run some bolts down through there. I wanted to put something here just so that that plastic box wasn't sitting directly on the metal. And I found these cool strips of weather stripping, and they're rubber. And I'm gonna just set those just like that, and then that gives it a little tiny bit of cushion. Not that we really need it, but I think it's just gonna help hold that box on there a little bit. You can see that it kind of pushed down because these little bars kind of hold it up a little bit. The main thing is I wanted it to be able to close here. So I think when I get a little bit of weight on that, it should close pretty good. And then I think I have a little bit of room to move the seat forward if I needed to. When you buy these, you get a little piece of foam here and a little piece of foam here usually. My strategy is to set these in here about where I think they should go. We could set our batteries in here. And then I've got some foam that we were using in my office to do some packing. And we'll just do something like this. And I already cut these out. Obviously they didn't just magically fit, but they aren't hard to cut at all. And then I've got to get out this hole with my wire harness. So we've got the wire harness. This is the output right here. So this will be the two batteries. This will be 48 volts. And these two are going to plug into those. So I'm going to run this out the hole that I made in my box down here, just far enough so that I can get that plugged in. And then these two will plug in. I have seen people that actually have grabbed these wires and plugged these batteries into each other. That's not good at all. It is a big spark show and you can catch things on fire if you aren't careful. So be really careful to make sure that you grab your wire harness and then track that. This is the other wire harness. This is the other battery right here. And then the only other thing I really need to pay attention to is I just don't want to have any wires here when I close this box that might cause some kind of problem. So we can close that thing up right there. And then I've got my lead coming out with the 48 volts, and that's going to plug right in down here to my speed controller. Then when I hit this guy, you're going to get your power set up right there. It's going to turn on. Going to give you some indication of what your power band is. I did go out and test ride this thing and probably went 10 or 15 miles and I was only about halfway. I still had 2 bars when I got back in. And just make sure you shut that off. The throttle right here will get your bike going really fast. So if you turn that on and hit that, it's gonna go. Be careful about that. So we successfully got the batteries in here working with the harness and the speed controller and the handle, and everything worked. Success, I'm stoked. I rode this thing all over the place. It was really cool that I got back here and I had plenty of power left. It was running just as strong and hard as it was when I left, and it was fast. It was really fast. Maybe we'll do a quick ride. I didn't expect to be doing audio, but I'm gonna just do a quick little audio check here. So we're gonna just take off from a dead start, no pedaling. See how quiet this thing is. We're gonna go up this hill. .6 miles an hour. All-time maximum speed. That's not too shabby. It's not bad at all. For as little as we got into this thing, 26 miles an hour. It's nothing to be proud of, Rusty. 26 miles an hour. As you can see, this thing is fast and fun, and there's lots of fun places you can go quickly. And that's what I really like about it, is that not that I'm lazy, but I don't know, I'm kind of lazy sometimes. I don't want to go have breakfast downtown and get there and be all sweaty. I don't mind sweating on the way home, but on the way there, give me a little power. Here you go, problem solved. Got one for my wife. I'm gonna do the exact same thing for her bike. Okay, for my wife's setup, we're gonna have two 10,000 milliamp 22.2 volt batteries, and we needed a case. So I went to Harbor Freight and I grabbed a case, and these are really nice and small and compact. But before I get started, I just wanted to make sure that both of these batteries are gonna fit in here okay. Because we have a little bit of wiggle room this way, but not very much this way. So what I want to do is set these in here so that they're really super snug. And there's a little piece of foam in here that's not the pick and pull, and this stuff here, you can see it's actually got the pick and pull, so you can take little chunks out of it. So what I want to do is see if I was to leave, I want a little more padding than that, I guess. So let's see if we have one of these thicker pads go in here, if these will still fit, and be really careful not to close your door and pinch any of the wires there. We've got lots of room on the sides here. So this is actually really good. It pinched down, so now the foam on the top and the foam on the bottom are actually pinching down on the batteries, so it's holding those in place so they don't fall around or shake around inside of here. So that is really good. So you can see now those are in there nice and snug. They're not moving around. Now I've got to figure out how to get my wires out of here. So we need to drill a hole here. My holes are all perfectly lined up. Now I'm going to use lock washers and nuts on the other side and screw these things down. Okay, so now we've got the wire harness here that we've already put together, and we're going to go ahead and feed that through these holes that we've made. On the back here, we are doing it. We'll make sure that everything is pushed away from here. And like I said, when we close this, it's gonna be really tight and it's gonna hold those batteries right in place. They're not gonna be able to bounce, they're not gonna be able to move. I have my Dean's connector right here. So I can pull this out and disconnect the whole thing really quickly if I need to. We got the batteries plugged in. If I push this button, that thing turns on. Yes, success. That is really, really good. All right, so we got the bikes done. They're working great. I'm super stoked on this build. This is gonna be so much fun this summer to be able to ride these downtown, have brunch and head back, and it's about 10 miles both ways, so we won't have to worry about battery life. These things are gonna be plenty fine for a ride like that. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer whatever I can. If you guys like this video, hit that subscribe button and the bell if you want to, and you will see me in the next video.
Let's go!